If you're worried that they're going to be annoyed, I promise you that they will not. I have once applied to the same job 17 times.
Right.
I did get the job.
That's something there's a similarity between what you did. And then in my interview with Robin Altucher, she did the same thing. She applied to the same job for every week for like a year or something like that.
Yeah, that's basically what I did.
Right. And they're not going to be annoyed.
No.
They eventually gave her the job.
They might have been annoyed, but they gave it to me anyway.
Right, exactly. And so it's good. If the hiring manager sees you there and they see you there, perfect.
Great. The more they see your name, the better.
Aloha, folks, and welcome back to Degree Free. We are your hosts, Ryan and Hannah Mariyama. On this podcast, we share fundamentals we've discovered and the mistakes we've made while self-educating, getting work, building businesses, and making money. We'll tell you how to make it happen. No degree needed.
Welcome back, folks. We are happy to have you with us as always. And if you want more Degree Free, because why would you not? You are going to want to run, not walk, over to degreefree.co/newsletter, because every week Ryan and I send out a newsletter that has all kinds of cool stuff, resources, degree free news, like companies that are rolling back degree requirements that Ryan and I think you need to know about. So in order to get that for free delivered to your inbox, go on over and sign up.
Awesome. And let's get into today's episode. Today, we are going to be talking about how to brute force your way into work.
Yes.
And we are going to be doing that by using the volume applying process.
So you're basically just going to steamroll a company into letting you work for them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Kind of. Sort of. Or a bunch of companies.
Yes.
In a bunch of roles.
All the companies.
Yes. And I do want to say that this show has kind of a how-to guide that we created to go along with it. There's going to be like a template for you to use in your outreach, because we're going to go do outreach and stuff. So you can find that at degreefree.co/volume apply. And the article is going to be there. Show notes are going to be in the usual place, degreefree.co/podcast. And you can go and find the show notes there as well. And we'll link everything. So if you don't remember /volume apply, you can just go to the podcast and it'll be linked. Also, this process is the exact process that Drake Porter, who is a senior product manager at Meta, used to get his job and make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year.
With no degree.
This is the exact process. We had this exact process, or at least half of it. Mm-hmm. Before we heard Drake's process, you and I used to tell people to do exactly the same thing, but just the first half of it.
Right. And then he came along and just revamped the whole thing.
Exactly. And
he was way better.
It blew my mind, really. Yeah. And you can definitely see that in the interview that I did with Drake, degreefree.co/Drake Porter. Even if you're not in product and if you're thinking about going into tech or you're thinking about making a career transition, I think there's something in that interview for everybody. So definitely go and check that out.
Yeah, it's hard to oversell that interview, folks. If you're looking for a job, might possibly ever want a job, need a job, want to work, if you want to do anything, pretty much, I feel like you should listen to that interview, because it really will just amp you up and encourage you a lot and kind of make you feel like anything's possible.
Definitely. And final thing before we get into the meat and potatoes of it is that this is part of the degree-free pathways that we've come up with. And a little bit on that, we were constantly asked, what can people do? What can I do instead of go to college? What can I do instead of going back to college? What can I do now that my degree that I have is no longer serving me and I don't want to work in that industry or whatever? Or say you got a psychology or communications degree and that like doesn't qualify you for any work. And you're like, okay, so what can I do?
Oh no.
And so, right, I know. Well, whatever. If you're listening to this podcast, that shouldn't hurt your feelings. And there are 5 ways that you can do that. We won't belabor them here, but you can go back and listen to the episode on the 5 degree-free pathways. And we also created a blog article, another how-to guide of all of that. And so that is all of the preamble. Oh, I wanted to say that this is part of pathway 1.
Yeah.
Which is get a job.
Mm-hmm.
And this is useful for any job that you're going to be looking at.
Yep.
Right. Exactly. So let's just get into it. First thing I want to talk about is what most people do. Right. And so most people, when applying for jobs, this is what they do.
Oh, if I had to guess, let's see. LinkedIn, Indeed, and Monster.com. Do people still apply for jobs on there?
I believe that Monster.com is still a thing. Yes.
Okay.
So people, you're exactly right. So people go to LinkedIn, they go to Indeed, they go to Monster, or they go to some other job board, and they find the job that they like or find a job that they like. They apply to that role through the site that they're already on, and then they repeat it for the next job. All right. That's great. That's what most people do. There's a few things that we don't like about that, and we'll see when we get into the process. But first, applying on LinkedIn, Indeed, or other job boards. We don't really trust those things. Not that we don't trust them. It's just
I mean, I don't know. They're a little suspicious.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. Yeah, trusting them is like
sus, a little sketchy.
I know that's such a silly way for me to say that, but like
no, but for real though, the last and this is funny. It's funny that you say this, but like the last few weeks, the thing that's been trending on LinkedIn is the fact that people are getting scammed on there. Remember, I just read Ryan the story the other day about this lady with the MBA who linked her bank account to a company.
Oh, right.
And then let them. It was some scheme, but then someone on our TikTok actually said that they applied for a LinkedIn job and they got scammed as well. So a little sketch.
Yeah, it happens. It totally happens.
Yeah. Anyone who's listening, do not give your bank account information to a company claiming that they're going to pay you to reimburse you for laptops or what have you. That's not real.
Yeah, exactly.
Apparently that needs to be said.
But not that I don't trust them. That's not really what I meant. What I meant is that with LinkedIn, Indeed, Monster, and other job boards, a lot of times the hiring manager or the recruiters or whatever, they're going to have to check those third-party things. And obviously it's part of their job and they should be doing it and everything like that. But things happen. Things slip through the cracks. Exactly.
Yeah.
With LinkedIn and Indeed, I'm sure that they get like notifications on the platform and then emails. With some other smaller job boards, it's probably just an email to that hiring manager's email.
I wonder if it's maybe even just one email a day too, right? With all of their notifications, depending on how many jobs that they...
But the main thing is that it's an email and emails get buried.
They do.
And if their email looks like most other people's emails, they're getting a gajillion a day and it can get buried. I mean, it's their job for it to not get buried.
Right.
But shit happens.
It does.
And so when I say I don't trust it, really, I would rather go to the company's website and trust their internal processes.
So it's showing up on their intranet or whatever. Even you might be more of a priority, or you might get an email and an intranet notification type thing.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Sure.
And all right, it might also just go to their email too.
But you don't know.
But yeah, we don't know. So
do your due diligence.
Yeah, this is just a hypothesis. And so this is what we're going to do. That's why we don't like the current process.
Sure.
Another reason why we don't like the current process is that, as you noticed, it's very linear. It's very one task after another. You go to LinkedIn, you find the job, you apply, then you rinse, repeat. And so the reason why we don't like that is because there's task switching involved.
It slows you down.
Exactly. And so, like we said at the beginning, this is how to brute force your way into work, into a job.
Yeah.
And the way that we're going to do that, like we said, is by applying to a lot of jobs.
A ton.
Depending on the surveys that you look at, for longtime listeners, you already know these numbers. And it takes 100 applications to get one interview or to get one job offer.
Yeah, to get an offer.
We like to be conservative and we like to say it takes 100 applications to get one interview. Yeah. And so because of that, we want to minimize the amount of times that we're switching in between tasks. So we want to minimize looking for jobs and then applying to them. We're going to batch the tasks. We're going to look for them and then we're going to apply to them. And the last reason why we don't like the current process is that there's no outreach for referrals.
Right. And if you got a job by just applying Easy Apply on LinkedIn, great. That's awesome. If that's worked for you, fantastic. For a lot of people, that's going to be difficult just because it's a lot. That's a lot.
And as I said before, we had 2/3 of this. We had the look for jobs at one time, apply to them at one time, but then we didn't have the outreach.
Yeah.
And
that's the 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
I think.
This is the perfect combination between quantity of outreach, volume applying, and then quality.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a pretty simple process.
Yeah.
It really is. And I'll kind of break it down now. There are 3 steps. Super simple. Search and save jobs, apply on the company's website, and then connect with people to make connections and possibly get a referral.
Yeah, and doing these without switching between each task really, it seems like it would make the process longer, but actually it makes it a lot faster.
Yeah, because as we talked about, you're in that mode of doing it.
Like today, all we're doing is searching and saving jobs.
Sure.
We're going to save 20.
And you can, I'm glad that you said that, because you can do it by day, but you can also do it by time slot.
Yeah, so you could do an hour of searching and saving, an hour of applying, and an hour of outreach.
Exactly. Or you could do it by count. And you can say, well, if I'm going to apply to jobs every single day, and I know that it takes 100 Monday to Friday, I'm going to apply to 20 jobs a day.
Mm-hmm.
And then so you could also batch it like that. And so when you're done searching and saving 20 jobs, then you move on to applying to them, and then you move on to trying to connect with people. And to kind of break it down a little bit more, like I said, there is an in-depth article about this, and you can read and have examples, degreefree.co/volume apply.
If you're planning to do this, definitely check this out, because it'll just be really helpful for you to refer back to it if you get stuck.
Exactly. And we'll just quickly go over these steps. So the first is going to be search and save jobs. That's pretty self-explanatory. And let's just use, I don't know, give me a job.
Let's do social media manager.
Sure. Social media manager. And we're going to put in all of the regular qualifiers at the end, right? If you're looking for a job in a specific city, or if you're looking for a remote job or whatever, then, put the qualifiers at the end. So social media manager, you're going to jobs, and you're going to type that into Google. And through Google Jobs, you're just going to go ahead and favorite things. And you can also look on LinkedIn. You can also look on Indeed, and same things. Social media manager jobs, remote, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Go to each one of these things and go ahead and favorite, star, whatever you have to do. If you're on a smaller job board or something like that, like something that doesn't have the feature to save, like to create a login and save jobs, then you could use something like Pocket, or
you could use a bookmark feature if you're being really simple.
Exactly. You can use something like Pocket. You can use Evernote. You can use bookmarks.
We'll link Pocket in the show notes too.
Exactly.
Because some people might not know what that is.
One of the other things that you could use is a job application tracker.
Oh, like in Excel.
Exactly. Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be an Excel spreadsheet, although I believe that that's the easiest way, or maybe not easiest.
Simplest, cheapest.
The most thorough way of doing it.
Because you input all the information.
Yes. And if you guys don't have a job application tracker, we made one for you, and you will link it in the show notes, degreefree.co/podcast.
Ryan made one for you.
Yeah, sure. Well, yeah, it's a team effort. We made one, and it's free. We could just go and download it. Mm-hmm. Google Sheets or Excel. There's both.
Super useful.
Exactly. And it'll just help you keep all of it in order and the status of it. The one that I made is probably a little bit too advanced, but I made a little explainer video. And so you can kind of delete what you don't need. But
if you're more like me, and I tend to put in the basic, very, very basic information when I'm doing that. So if you want to, you can delete columns until you get to the columns that you want to have.
Exactly. And like we said, this is one task. So go to your favorite job board, ZipRecruiter, Monster, Indeed, LinkedIn, Google Jobs, Social Media Manager, Jobs, Remote. And then you're just going to go ahead and favorite all of them.
I will say here too, you can go to any of those job boards. My personal recommendation is to Google Jobs. I've found more success with that simply because there's less competition for those jobs.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's definitely
people don't search that way. They search on job boards. It's more difficult to Google the jobs, but I think that those jobs have less competition.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
That's my theory.
And once you're done saving your 20 or 100, however much you're doing at this time, you're done. That's all of step 1. And so the second step is going to be to apply on the company's website. Now, we want to apply on the company's website for all the reasons that we stated before. So I won't belabor that here. There's a few ways of finding the company's website. The first is going to be to just Google the company. So social media manager at Acme Corp. Just go to Acme Corp's website, go to their careers or jobs, and then manually find the job listing and see if it matches. Okay, perfect. Now you're gonna go apply on Acme Corp's job.
That's a good way to double check too. If you think something might be a scam, go check.
Yeah, true.
I think that's why that's happened, is because people don't go off to the actual website.
And the other way is to use Google, and you can just say, social media manager, jobs, remote, Acme Corp, and then hopefully it pops up, right? Hopefully it's indexed and hopefully it pops up. But it might not be because jobs aren't indexed, or maybe not aren't indexed, but they're so fluid. They change so quickly. So maybe it won't be indexed. Anyway, that's a whole...
That's a whole other can of worms.
Yeah, that's a whole other story. The difficult part here that I do want to point out is, how do we rank which jobs we're going to be applying to first?
That's a great question. How?
I think the best way to rank these jobs is literally in the order that you found them. So the job application tracker, you're grabbing the URL and you're pasting it in your job application tracker.
Whichever one you found first.
Exactly. Whichever one you find first, whatever you favorited, just go down the list and apply to those jobs.
Is that so you don't waste time trying to figure out what order to put them in?
That's for a couple of reasons. Yes, that is one of them. Because what we see with some people is that they'll rank the jobs. Like, this is the one I want most, I'm going to apply to it first. If I get it, well, then I'm done. Like, I'm done with my job search. I know that I want this job the most.
I see.
And so then I'm done. All right, that's good. But I prefer not to do it that way. The reason why is because now you've added a whole nother task of ranking all of these things.
And that's decision exhaustion. I can actually see putting off applying because I don't want to sit around and do that and put that thought into that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now I have to decide, do I want to be a social media manager at Acme Corp or at whatever?
Pinterest.
Exactly. And it's like, okay, well, I'm
not sure. So I'm going to think about it for a couple of days.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I can totally see that. And then the job listings expired and then you just don't apply at all.
Right.
And now you're still unemployed 3 weeks, 3 weeks later.
That is true.
You can see how the spiral would happen.
Definitely.
I feel like that's probably happened to me before, to be honest. That seemed really vivid.
Yeah. And I think just going down in order kind of eliminates that. Exactly what you said, decision exhaustion.
Just act.
Just go down in order.
Yeah.
If it's on your list, you should be applying to it. So
apply to all of them.
You're going to apply to all of them anyway.
Why not?
So just go down the list. To each their own. So,
hey man, the logic checks out for that one. I think that makes a lot of sense to just copy paste them in the order you found them and go apply to all of them.
There are a few frequently asked questions when we talk about this with people. And the first is, can I apply in both places? And the answer is yes, of course.
Yeah, why not?
Sure. If you wanna apply in both places, go for it.
If you're worried that they're going to be annoyed, I promise you that they will not. I have once applied to the same job 17 times. Right. I did get the job.
That's something there's a similarity between what you did. And then in my interview with Robin Altucher, she did the same thing. She applied to the same job for every week for like a year or something like that.
Yeah, that's basically what I did.
Right. And they're not going to be annoyed.
No.
They eventually gave her the job.
They might have been annoyed, but they gave it to me anyway.
Right, exactly. And so it's good. If the hiring manager sees you there and they see you there, perfect.
Great. The more they see your name, the better.
Exactly. And sure, there might be the outlier company that's like, well, you didn't listen to the instructions and you should have done it.
Okay, you don't want to work for them.
You don't want to work for them anyway. Yeah, you're never getting that job.
They're going nowhere fast.
Yeah, exactly. Screw that.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Especially because we're brute forcing our way into work, and the way that we're doing that is by volume applying.
Yeah, you're going to apply as many times as humanly possible.
And the second question is, what if the job listing is only on the job board and I can't find it anywhere else? If you have looked for it the 2 ways that we talked about, by going to the company's website and then by Googling it, look, it might be that they use that job board for their job listings.
That is true. And I will say, because I've talked about the scams a couple times in this episode, I will say that there are companies, sometimes startups too, will use external job boards only, and they don't have their own yet. That does happen. So just avoid anybody who's going to ask you for money. If they're trying to get you to link your bank accounts or trying to get you to give them money, it's not a job. It's a scam. Yeah. There is a Nigerian prince on the other side. Yeah. They're not going to hire you. They're going to steal your money.
And if they don't use another job board, well, then just apply there.
Yeah.
If you can't find it anywhere else, all right, well, you did your due diligence and just apply where you can apply.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So that's the second step. So that is what we've been telling people to do for years.
Yeah, long time.
Long time. That exact thing is what we've been telling people to do for years. And
then Drake out of left field.
out of left field, he comes and drops this third step, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And the third step is finding a connection.
And we were like, of course.
Yeah. Like when I was interviewing him and he was saying this, and I was just like,
wow,
I'm stupid.
Yeah, we're idiots.
Yeah, I'm dumb.
It's fine. We're a pair idiots.
Yeah. I was like, I'm dumb. I don't know. I can't believe that I never thought about this to do this myself.
Yeah.
And
not to minimize how bright it was that he realized it at all, but we were just like, of course.
Exactly.
That's so smart.
So after you've applied to these jobs, and once again, you can go, and the way that you're going to know if you applied is you're going to track it somehow. Notepad, pen and paper, Word doc, however it is that you want to do it. You can use the one that we have, degreefree.co/podcast. We'll link it. All right. You can use something. So once you know that they're all applied to, now you're going to try to connect with people. The best way that you're going to connect with people is probably through LinkedIn.
Yes.
There might be some other ways by using like hunter.io and trying to find emails and stuff like that. That's a little bit out of the depths of this conversation. So we're just going to say use LinkedIn.
Yeah, for most job applications, that's going to be your standard. That's what LinkedIn is good for.
And if they don't, if that company and the people that work at that company aren't on LinkedIn, well, then now you're going to have to just do a little bit more footwork.
Yeah, you might have to go. An underrated tip is to find them on Facebook if they're a little bit older.
You can find them on Facebook, or you can literally
Twitter bio is another good place to find people's emails.
You can just Google
websites.
Google the company's name. Sorry, we'll just go off a little tangent here, and you can just Google the company's name and go to their website, and then go to the contact us and try to see if you can reach out and just say, hey,
I want to work for you.
Right. You can say I want to work for you, or you could try to find somebody in that department
to give you advice or be a referral connection.
Exactly.
Hey, I want to work in social media management for you folks. Is there somebody who I could ask about your company culture? Blah,
sure.
blah, blah.
And if you don't want to do an email, what you could do, because maybe they're not going to reach out and answer that question. So say social media marketing, social media management, or whatever. You're trying to do this for this company, but they don't have a presence on LinkedIn. You Google this company and they have a contact us. If they have an email and they have a number, I suggest calling.
Yeah, nobody calls.
The reason why, not only does nobody call, but email is one-way communication. And if you're asking, hey, can I get a connection to your marketing manager? That person can think about it and just be like, yeah, no. Yeah,
I will say
no.
That is one of the things when I mentioned this job, and this wasn't even like this wasn't a high and mighty job. It was just a bartending job that I really, really wanted when I was younger. And I applied 17 times, but I also called. I walked my resume in there and I called. And I said, hey, I dropped my resume off, or hey, I emailed my resume in again. Has anyone looked at it? Is there anything else I can bring in? Blah, 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 blah. Someone hearing your voice on the phone, especially nowadays when people don't talk to a lot of people face to face, especially for remote jobs, almost never are they talking to external people. That's a really good move.
Yeah. And you can literally just say you don't have to lie or anything too. You can just say,
don't lie.
I just applied and I wanted to see if I can reach the marketing manager. Do you have their phone number or their email? And most people want to help as long as you're
polite.
Right. Exactly. As long as you're putting your best foot forward, most people want to help. And so maybe they'll connect you that way. All right. So if this company and the people that work at this company do not have a LinkedIn presence, you're going to have to do a little bit more research, a little bit more footwork to get this done. All right. Back to LinkedIn. So let's assume that they do have a LinkedIn and they are there. What you're going to do is you are going to try to find someone in that company with the exact same role. And if they don't have the exact same role, say they don't have a social media marketer, social media manager there, then you're going to look for a similar position. It could be the marketing manager, but it could also be like a
hiring manager.
I could be a hiring manager, but more like a marketing associate.
Oh, sure. Like anybody.
Right. So you're looking for somebody within the same department or in a similar position. Then you're going to send them a connection request, and you're going to send them a note when you send them a connection request. And the goal here is to make a connection, get them to like you, and then ultimately really to
refer you.
get a referral.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the goal.
And people aren't strangers to this anymore, too. It may be the first time someone's asked them, but probably not.
Yeah, probably not. Chances are they've been asked before.
Yeah.
And so because of that, really quick, what not to do when reaching out to these people is to,
Hey, let's connect.
hey, can I get a referral for this job?
Yeah. Okay. Like not that kind of brute force, people. Like a little, take them to dinner first.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez.
Yeah. You don't have to literally take them to dinner.
I mean, actually don't do that. That might be a conflict of interest, but,
Yeah.
but I mean, figuratively just, hey, how's your day going? How's your day going? I'd like to learn more about this role that you have open. Don't just, hey, let's connect. I want something from you. Yikes.
Exactly.
Don't do that. Why? Because if someone did that to you, you'd be extremely off put. Just put yourself in those people's shoes for 2 minutes and go, if somebody did that, they're like assigning me work and they're assigning me a task, and that's not what you want. What you want is to ask for their advice or input, not to assign them a task that now they have to do.
Yeah, definitely. And a good book for everybody on this is Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. If you haven't read it, I definitely suggest that you do.
Everyone under the sun needs to read that book.
This is exactly what he's talking about here, which is getting people to like you, and then people want to do things for people they like.
Yeah. It's a sincere way. It's a sincere, especially if you're new to this, it's a really sincere book about how to be interested in people and learn about them and ultimately make friendships and connections with people and also professional relationships.
And we do have templates for this on the website, on the blog article, degreefree.co/volume apply. You can just copy and paste it, and then take whatever, but I'll just kind of go over it quickly. The first note that you're going to send is literally just like, hey, whatever their name is, hope you're having a great day. I'm looking to get into my new role at this company, at the company that they work for. Was wondering if I could ask you a few questions about your role. Okay, perfect, done. And then you would say like, would you mind giving me, 10 minutes on the phone or chat through here? And then they're going to chat with you because somebody wants to talk to you.
Right.
Right. I mean, and
nobody does.
Right. And you don't want to talk to them.
Yeah.
And so there you go. And like I said, I am just paraphrasing literally what Drake Porter told me. So please go back and listen to that episode.
Yeah. We can't tell you folks to listen to that episode enough.
Yeah.
You really should.
And if they confirm, like I said, the templates are on the website, so go there. But if they confirm, now you're going to message them about the role and you're going to ask them like, how would you define success? And like, how does it differ from different companies? And then so on and so forth.
Yeah. Put a little thought into the questions too. Like if you want to know what direction the company's headed, if you want to know like what the sales goals are, if you want to know what the team culture is like, blah, 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 just ask.
Exactly.
Because genuinely be interested.
The questions are going to vary by job role.
Yeah.
And by industry. But the template that we have for you, questions that we've written down, are general enough that you could just copy and paste it, but you're probably going to get better reactions if you ask better questions.
Yeah, tailor your questions a little bit.
Exactly. And the final question, whenever you're done, however many questions, you don't want to ask too many, but the final one is like, oh, how did you get your job there? Did you just cold apply or did you get a referral?
Most of them are going to say referral.
Maybe not.
Hopefully.
Maybe not. Who knows? Right? And this was what Drake said, which makes sense. You're just trying to get the wheels turning for them. And if they like you, they're going to put they're going to connect the dots.
If you lead the horse to the water, the horse will give you a job referral.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
That's what we're looking for here.
And if you basically just lead them in that direction, if they like you, they're going to be like, yeah, you know what? How would I refer you? Be like, oh, would you do that?
Wow,
that's not the outcome that I wanted.
How completely unexpected. I had no idea that this would occur.
Exactly.
Some lovely water you have there.
That's pretty much it, right? And the basis of that third step, like we said, Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People, it's just get them to like you.
And do that by being sincere. Like that's the realest thing. You can in fact connect with people when you want something from them. because that's realistically speaking, you want something from this person. You want a referral from them. So be genuinely interested and realize that this person has something that you want. They have knowledge of this company that you want to get into. So ask their advice, ask their input, and listen to what they say.
And now you have, so like that third question that you ask them, right? Or that last question that you ask them, like, how did you get that job? Did you cold apply or did you get a referral? Well, you now just did both.
Right.
Like,
You've effectively done both of those things.
Yeah. You did cold apply and now you have a referral.
Because imagine how good that looks to the hiring manager too if you've applied and you wrote a cover letter, because people don't do that anymore. And then all of a sudden they get an email on the side from so-and-so that says, hey, I just sent through a referral for this person. And then on top of that, then they get an actual referral. They might get an actual referral code. Sometimes, depending on the company, they'll get a referral code because that person will get paid if they hire you. That's a thing too. You never know if that's the case. So sometimes people have $1,000 incentive to refer you, which is another good reason to ask.
And one of the things that's not made clear here, but it is made clear in the episode with Drake, is that he does send his resume through a bunch of times if they ask for it. And, so that the person
can vet him before they refer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is not putting their stamp of approval on you.
On someone they don't know.
On something that, they haven't seen your body of work.
Right.
And so definitely have your resume ready to go, ready to shoot over to them so that they can see, okay, this person is right for this role. And based off of the short conversation that I've had with them, I like them. And it seems like they would fit. So just remember that. And that's pretty much it. I mean, you're going to be doing this a lot, right? Like we said, brute force your way into a job, into work. And volume applying is the way to do it. Like we said, 100 applications for every job offer. We like to think of it as 100 applications for every interview. And so when Drake was doing this, he said that he was doing it 50 plus times a day.
Yeah.
50 applications a day.
Folks, you're talking, we're talking volume applying. That is a lot of job applications. Staggering.
Yep, exactly.
Staggering.
But this is the exact formula he used. And we've used the exact same thing, except much crappier.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did 2/3.
His version is way better.
Way better.
Use the Porter process.
Yeah. We did 2/3 of it. And then he came in we did the quantity. And he came in
with the quality.
And now this is one of the most perfect processes for applying. There's also other things you can do to stand out, such as doing video pitches and doing free work and having a professional portfolio.
And actually physically sending things into the company to get their attention.
Which we talk about as well. But if you're just trying to apply to jobs, this is the way to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this is super effective.
Now, if you want more degree free, because why would you not want more of Ryan and I and our stupid jokes? So you are going to want to run over to degreefree.co/newsletter to get our newsletter that comes out once a week to your inbox. It's going to have resources, stuff Ryan and I think is cool, and degree free news like companies that are losing their degree requirements, apprenticeships, and all other kinds of cool stuff. So go on over and grab that.
Yep. Perfect. And if you guys wanted to support the show, the best way that you could do that is by leaving an honest review wherever it is that you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple, wherever. That would be great. Once again, this is a super resource heavy show. So there's a lot of things. If you guys want the links to everything that we talked about, degreefree.co/podcast. As far as the article, that's degreefree.co/volume apply. Definitely go back and listen to the interview with Drake Porter. Also, last but not least, this is a very integral and important part of the first pathway of the 5 degree free pathways.
Yeah.
Of getting a job. You're going to be doing this a lot.
All the time.
Yeah, definitely. And yep, that's pretty much it. If you guys want to say hi, the best way to reach out to us, contact at degreefree.co.
We read your emails.
Yep, absolutely. And that's pretty much it, guys. Until next time, aloha.